Week 4 begins now with the 91 Lions and 85 Bears. These two teams do not know much for offense, and it showed as it'd be a turnover contest as each team would fail to get any touchdowns throughout the game. This William White interception would make it 3-0 at halftime. In the fourth quarter, the Lions would finally get some offense going. Rodney Peete to his big playman Clark all the way down to the 5-yard line, and he'd settle for a field goal attempt, which would make this game go into overtime. The Bears would win the coin toss, and typically if you do that, you win, right? Well, McMahon would throw an interception to Crockett, which would put the Lions straight into field goal range, and they would take advantage as they kicked the game-winning field goal, win 9-6 to win their first game of the year, and give the Bears their first loss. They also had their worst passing total of the year with just 80 yards. The 7-6 Raiders and the 0-9 Texans, another game that seemed to be a huge mismatch, but after a long drive by the Texans, it'd be them who'd score first 7-0 before Raiders field goal, and then they'd have a big play of their own to go up 10-3 late in the second quarter, but right before halftime, the Raiders would counter on a Stabler to a Van Egan connection. 10-10 at halftime. In the third quarter, Van Egan with another touchdown. That'd be before Anthony Hill, the tight end of the Texans, runs all the way 75 yards for a touchdown to tie it up at 17. But the Raiders weren't done just yet. A big play to Blitnikoff would get the Raiders in field goal range, and they'd make that field goal to go up 20-17. But with 0 seconds left, Matt Schaub with one final attempt. He doesn't throw to the end zone, and that's the way the Texans lose 20-17 over the 4-0 Raiders. 0-2 Buccaneers and the 91 Redskins. This game would be all skins as it'd be a field goal tacked on in the first, followed by a touchdown to Ernest Biner on a catch and run, and Terry Orr, the tight end, that get into the end zone. 17-0 the final. Buccaneers only 100 yards total offense. Both of these franchises do not have won a game yet. That's pretty surprising, especially the start of this one. It'd be 10-0 Browns entering the fourth quarter, and it'd be a pick six by Hanford Dixon, the corner, to make it 17-0. But that'd be before the Bengals would strike back on a big play to Martin to get in the end zone and get on the scoreboard 17-7. But the Bengals have to get an onside kick to have any sort of chance in this game. They don't get the onside and lose 17-7. 0-8 Giants and the 69 Cheifs. First quarter, Eli would start off the game by hitting Steve Smith, who would break a tackle but end the run poorly as he fumbles the ball and recovered by the Chiefs. Big play there for Kansas City. The Giants would get the ball back and have to settle for 2 straight field goals on back-to-back times. Lawrence Times wide left and way short. That give the Chiefs a chance with just 16 seconds to go, a chance to drive down the field and give their kicker a chance, who actually does make field goals, makes it 3-0 at halftime. In the fourth quarter, Times would have a third shot to make a field goal. He does this time. He'd make it 3-3 entering overtime, and he's so excited he's going to hug nobody at this time. Entering overtime now, it'd be the Chiefs who drive right down the field and give their kicker a chance with just over 3 minutes to go in that overtime period to make a field goal, and he does to win the game by the final 6-3, despite the Chiefs having under 200 yards offense. It's the epic offense versus the epic defense as the 2000 Ravens and 07 Patriots take off. It'd be Welker in the end zone to make it 10-0 late in the second, but it'd be Ray Lewis that'd make things interesting as they take this interception all the way to the other 29-yard line and would lead to this Patrick Johnson touchdown. And after a Steve Gash touchdown, all of a sudden the Ravens have the lead. With the game on the line, fourth down, it'd be an interception by Rod Woodson. It's the Patriots' first loss. 0-5 Seahawks and the 0-9 Colts. Bad things would happen to the Colts throughout the entire afternoon. It'd be Jervicius that'd make it 7-0. The Seahawks do not know much for the deep ball, but it led to 3 touchdown passes by Hasselbeck, and the Seahawks win by the final 24-10. Colts struggling at 1-3. The Week 4 edition of Madden Matchup of the Week is in place as the 0-9 Jets and Saints take off in New Orleans. It'd be a quick pick six by Darren Sharper. It'd be 10-0 at halftime. Who Dat Nation was about to celebrate before Revis gets in front of the Breeze pass, and later it'd be a Jets field goal to make it 10-3 in the fourth quarter. Chance number 1 for the Saints would be a 3rd down and 3, and they would not convert that. Chance number 2 is a Garrett Hartley field goal, which would be no good. Ouch. And chance number 3 would be to stop the Jets, but they could not do that either. It would be Jones in the end zone to tie it up, and all of a sudden, the Jets tied it up. Chance number 4 would be Breeze that would have to at least force overtime, but Meacham fumbles the ball, giving the Jets another opportunity. Chance number 5, well, there would be no chance number 5, as Jay Feely makes this field goal, winning the game for the Jets. Breeze had 2 interceptions, and the Saints blow the fourth quarter lead. 92 Cowboys and the 98 Broncos. Let me tell you, these two teams could not stop scoring points. It'd be Cadres make it 7-0 before Jimmy Smith makes it 7-7. Then after a Broncos score, Jay Novacek would catch his first of 2 touchdowns. His second comes right before halftime to make it 21-14. But Terrell Davis with a huge 68-yard run to the end zone to make it 28-24. But the Cowboys have one chance on 4th and 1 to get into the end zone and take the lead. Aikman would throw an incomplete pass throw, ending the game for the Cowboys 28-24. 89 Rams and the 99 Niners. It's the first game all year that has been raining, as that would lead to a quick turnover by Joe Montana, which would lead to a score by the Rams. Kurt Warner to Isaac Bruce makes it 7-0 in the first quarter. In the second, be a huge play by Brent Jones, the tight end, to make it 7-7. And late, Roger Craig with a touchdown to cap off the victory, 14-7 Niners. An epic primetime game between the 76 Steelers and 81 Chargers. First quarter, it'd be Rocky Bleier, the running back, into the end zone, and 7-0 in the first quarter. But later, it'd be a big play to Wes Chandler from Dan Faust, which would get the Chargers in field goal range, and they would settle for a Rob Rennerschka field goal and make it 10-3 at halftime. In the fourth quarter, it'd be a rare miss by Rob Rennerschka that would end up saving the Chargers, as third-string running back Ricky Moser would fumble the ball here, which would be recovered by Glenn Edwards of the Chargers and lead to this Eric Sievers touchdown catch, which would lead to the 13-10 lead late in the fourth quarter. But you know the Steelers aren't done just yet. Bradshaw would get the Steelers within field goal range, and they'd take advantage as it'd be a 13-13 score entering overtime. Pittsburgh wins the coin toss, and traditionally, if you do that, you will win the game. It's a big drive for the Steelers that would get them in range for a game-winning field goal. Roy Gorella from the 17 with a chance to win it, and his kick is good. They win by the final of 16-13 over the struggling 1-3 Chargers. Epic divisional rivalry now between the 96 Packers and 98 Vikings. The early hype would be long gone into the first quarter, as it'd be an early touchdown and later a pick 6 by the Packers to make it 14-0, seemingly a rout here in the second quarter. But the first points of the game would come on a Gary Anderson field goal to make it 14-3. Later, the Packers' mishaps would continue. A fumble there by Bennett, which would lead to a Smith touchdown run, burning the defense for 28 yards, and a 2-point conversion by Randy Moss to make it 14-11. And then Brett Favre with another pick. Williams on the interception, which would lead to this Randy Moss play. And now we're all tied up with a Gary Anderson field goal in the fourth quarter, 14-all, just entering the fourth. But there's still enough time for Brett Favre to engineer a comeback drive. It'd be Henderson on the receiving end of a big game, and later Favre would throw to a very happy Robert Brooks in the end zone to take the lead 21-14. But the Vikes have one final shot on 4th and 20 to at least convert, and they do not do that, thus losing for the first time all year, 21-14. Vikings with 163 total yards offense. Here is your recap of all of Week 4's scores. Make sure to tune in next week as teams continue to take shape after a quarter of the season. Week 5's key matchup is the 07 Patriots and 98 Broncos, John Elway versus Tom Brady. Now the top 3 plays of week number 4. Number 3, the backup tight end Anthony Hill with a big grab and runs 77 yards all the way to the end zone. The Texans would end up losing that game by the final 20-17. Now the number 2 play would be a game-winning field goal by Jay Feely. They win by the final 13-10, the Jets over the Saints. The Jets are now 2-2. And now the number 1 play of Week 4's action would be a big pick, almost 6 by Ray Lewis. He'd take it all the way down to the other 20-yard line. The Ravens would end up winning that game and going to 4-0 on the season. Now the top big hits of the week. Goodbye.